Hello everyone, this is Ella. Today we're gonna talk about the virtual world. In academic field, there's a saying that the world that we live in is simulated into the universe. This means that everything that we have can be virtual. Most people don't believe it. Yet, before exploring this issue, let's see if people can distinguish between what's real and what's virtual. This will determine what kind of person you are. Scientists say it's consciousness. It is what determines one's existence. Consciousness is the description of the response to this object in the world. In other words, there are consciousness that determines whether you can perceive the reality of this world. Consciousness is produced by the specific cells of the brain. At simplest, science or awareness of internal or external existence, despite centuries of analysis, definition, explanation, and debates by philosophers and scientists, consciousness remains puzzling and controversial, being at once the most familiar and most mysterious aspect of our lives. Perhaps the only widely agreed notion about the topic is the intuition that it does really exist. Imagine yourself as a consciousness. You exist in your brain, and you want to know everything. What does it feel to be outside, but you can't see or touch it? You can only analyze what the word is true by the pulse current transmitted by the organs. In fact, the human brain is actually a machine that predicting judgments. What we presume is a brain guess on external things. Let me give you an example. Here's a picture. Do you think that the color A is darker than B? Or are the colors in these two pictures the same? Or can you use your fingers to map a middle connection apart? Does the color of A look darker? This is the visual asterisk of the brain to analyze the feedback using an expected mechanism. When the asterisk does not meet our expectations, the judgment of the brain will be biased and illusion will occur at the same time. Our brains can quickly use new predictions to change our conscious experience. In fact, the colors of two blocks are the same. Let's hear some audio. No matter how many times you try to understand and hear the audio, you still cannot understand because this audio does not meet the expectation of the brain. Let's listen to it again. Listen to it a few more times and try to fully understand what this is.
I think Brexit is a really terrible idea.
Only the guesswork of your brain has to change, guessing the information more accurate. Try to look at this picture. This is a GIF image of the London Underground. Can you see if the subway is entering the tunnel? Or is it leaving the tunnel? At this time, our perception is also an illusion. In fact, our brain is always fantasizing, including you at this moment. Only when we agree with the hallucinations produced by our brains, we will call it reality. Reality is a controlled ability of the brain of hallucinations of an uncontrollable illusion. It is when the brain is unclear about reality. These are owned by our body. An example that we feel our body is the most familiar to the brain, but inside your body can also be an illusion to the brain. You can do such an experiment and it only takes a few seconds for your brain to be able to distinguish between your hands. Find a rubber to set it in front of you. Let your eyes only see the fake hand. Now, let your companion use two small brushes to to brush the right hand and the fake hand at the same time. Let your brain feel that this artificial hand is your hand. At this time, let your other friend stab the prosthetic hand with a fork, and your subconscious reaction will regard to this prosthetic hand as yours. This experiment shows that your visuals and tactile signals have deviated unions. This is your brain. It is also a guess for the brain that an uncontrollable illusion. What we see with consciousness is an illusion of the brain on external things. Our understanding of the world is not actually familiar with the outside from the inside, but inside to the outside. We therefore conclude that your consciousness draws from these signals and analyzes it is our brain and think what it is, and the perception of many animals on earth is different. For example, the dog's eyes, they don't have as many light sensing cells as human eyes. The world seen by all dogs is gray. The dogs can imagine that we, the human, can see colorful colors, but if we change the stigma inside the dog's brain, it's the same as the humans. When the dog can see everything, we all see as well. The uncontrollable hallucination have evolved over years of many years to form our consciousness. Sometimes it is difficult for people to distinguish reality and illusion. When people dream it, it is also a simulation of the brain's pulse hour. Is everything you feel in your dreams unreal? Even the dream event was so exaggerated and absurd, but what we perceived is the same as when we wake up. Since our consciousness perceives the world from inside to out, we call signals, that is to say that we can stimulate these signals and we can simulate ourselves in the world, and even the entire universe can be simulated as long as our consciousness perceives reality, it is real. In the near future, artificial intelligence must be a technology that will be discovered. How to define artificial intelligence is the moment when machine has consciousness. Humans can let artificial intelligence learn, perceive, and understand the human world through this analyzed signal. Human beings can observe and summarize, and at the same time, we are a creator in a sense. We are the creators of artificial intelligence. If someone really knows artificial intelligence, then it will definitely create an environment as a system, and the medium creating our real world was more expensive than the virtual world. The effect of this and achievement is the same, but you will definitely choose the one that costs less. If our universe is real, we may not be able to detect 1% of the universe made to date of the human extinction through evolution, and our entire universe is completely redundant. The function of the system is also excess. The universe can be infinite elements. It's like a game of the map as because you want, and it can also be examined indefinitely. Can be achieved through code. Our world seems to be arranged. The Earth is not far from the sun and there's a suitable light. The Earth has such a small moon, which also talk about in the moon video. We have the right atmosphere, not much light. Just right there is an upper limit of the speed of the universe. As the speed of light, this also seems to be certain limitation. How it's like God revising our game. God is the one who writes the code, and these codes are laws of physics, thermodynamics, quantum mechanics, relativity, constant speed of light, and etc. After the establishment of the only need to evolve naturally, and each of us is like a super self-awareness. If our world is a virtual game and our natural laws, the code of writing programs, and the speed of light is the maximum operating speed in simulated machines, Some supernatural phenomena are like system bugs, and the fire of the universe is this in these archives. Take a look at the past 200 years ago, from the Industrial Revolution to the 5G internet era, one after another, large investment has been created to develop men, and our current technology level is climbing up to an exponential level. We're like being watched inside the cage, and we are growing stronger and stronger. But how can we escape this cage? When will be archived and deleted by the creator of this entire humankind? This is again Ella, and feel free to leave a comment down below for more videos, suggestions, and ideas. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!